Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 2026-0707. Today, we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. Our top story is a significant open weight model release from Tencent. The company has officially open sourced Hi3, a mixture of experts model with 295 billion total parameters, 21 billion active parameters per token, and a 256,000 token context window under the Apache 2.0 license. The release includes current weights along with FP8 variants and official deployment guidance for both VLLM and SGLang. For engineering teams, the headline is not simply model size. The operational detail is that only 21 billion parameters are active for each token, changing the serving cost profile compared with dense models of similar scale. Tencent also provides deployment recipes that enable practitioners to evaluate real throughput rather than relying only on benchmark charts. At the same time, this remains a frontier-scale model that still requires substantial multi-GPU infrastructure. Tencent reports improvements in reasoning, coding, long context tasks, and agent reliability, but those claims should still be validated through independent testing of latency, tool use, memory requirements, and production stability. Even so, Hi3 immediately becomes an important comparison point alongside other open-weight families, such as GLM, DeepSeek, and Qwen, for organizations evaluating alternatives to proprietary frontier APIs. Our next story highlights a growing reality of enterprise AI. Security infrastructure is becoming just as strategic as model infrastructure. Keyfactor announced that it has secured a strategic growth investment of more than $1 billion led by Summit Partners. The funding is aimed at expanding trust infrastructure for AI and post-quantum enterprise security. The practical takeaway is centered on machine identity. As organizations deploy more AI agents, automated services, model endpoints, and service-to-service workloads, they also create dramatically more certificates and cryptographic identities to manage. Keyfactor's platform focuses on certificate lifecycle automation, public key infrastructure, cryptographic discovery, code signing, and cryptographic posture management. Investors are signaling that these capabilities are moving from compliance functions into the core AI operating stack. Existing investors, Insight Partners and Sixth Street Growth will remain significant owners after the transaction closes, while Summit Partners will add Andy Collins and Colin Mistel to the company's board. For platform and security teams, the message is clear. Certificate automation, identity governance, and post-quantum readiness need to be designed into AI systems before agent deployments scale beyond what security teams can manually govern. Our third major story comes from materials science, where researchers are demonstrating how machine learning can accelerate scientific discovery without replacing traditional experimentation. An Aalto University-led SuperC consortium has reported the discovery and experimental confirmation of two Kagome superconductors, YRU3b2 and LURU3b2. It is important to understand what this result does and does not claim. The newly discovered materials become superconducting at only 0.81 Kelvin and 0.95 Kelvin respectively, so this is not a room temperature superconductivity breakthrough. Instead, the innovation lies in the workflow. Machine learning was used to narrow an enormous chemical search space, after which researchers applied first principles calculations before collaborators at Rice University synthesized and experimentally verified the candidates. The work, published in Physical Review Research, illustrates an increasingly valuable AI pattern, combining domain-specific knowledge with machine learning to prioritize the most promising candidates for expensive laboratory validation. Rather than chasing benchmark accuracy alone, the system focuses on identifying a small number of high-quality experimental targets, making research pipelines substantially more efficient. Our final top story examines the intersection of AI policy, geopolitics, and vendor strategy. The recent suspension and restoration of Anthropic's Fable 5 and Mythos 5 models has become a case study in platform risk. Following a June 12 directive from the U.S. Commerce Department, Anthropic suspended worldwide access to both models for foreign nationals, citing government concerns over a reported jailbreak technique. Rather than create a United States-only version, the company disabled the models globally before access was restored on July 4th. During that same period, Chinese laboratory ZAI released its open-weight GLM 5.2 model under the MIT license with a 1 million token context window, explicitly arguing that open-weight models cannot be withdrawn once users have downloaded them. After Fable 5 returned, developers also reported an undisclosed internal tag that routed some requests to the less expensive Opus 4.8 model, creating fresh questions around transparency in production systems. For organizations building AI-powered products, the broader lesson extends beyond one vendor. Teams relying exclusively on hosted frontier APIs should have contingency plans for regulatory disruptions or unexpected model availability changes. They should also monitor production behavior carefully after major incidents to ensure routing and model selection remain consistent with operational expectations. Now, for a few other key updates in our lightning round. Anthropic has published new interpretability research titled A Global Workspace in Language Models. The company describes an internal representation inside Claude called JSpace, along with a Jacobian-based analysis method called JLens. Anthropic argues these internal patterns can be observed, manipulated, and linked to some downstream behaviors, while explicitly stating the work does not demonstrate machine consciousness. The key question now is whether independent researchers can reproduce these findings across different model families and training runs. Chinese AI models continue gaining commercial traction with U.S. businesses. According to CNBC, models from DeepSeek and ZAI have accounted for more than 30% of weekly token traffic on OpenRouter since February, reaching as high as 46%, compared with a 12-month average of 11%. Rising costs for premium U.S. models appear to be encouraging organizations to route more workloads toward lower-cost alternatives, although governance and data security remain important evaluation factors. South Korea's AI search competition is accelerating. Naver has launched its conversational AI tab, replacing its traditional search box with an agent-style interface spanning shopping, blogs, maps, and other services. Rival DOM, now operated by AXZ, has introduced AI Overview, powered by Upstage's Solar model. Naver also plans to begin integrating advertising directly into AI-generated search responses next month, creating an early test of conversational search monetization. Researchers have introduced the Quantum API Drift benchmark on Arxiv to measure whether language models generate Qiskit code for the correct software development kit version. Testing across Qiskit versions 0.43, 1.3, and 2.0 found substantial variation among 17 evaluated models, reinforcing the need for version-aware continuous integration rather than relying solely on syntactically correct code generation. Indonesia is emphasizing sovereign AI infrastructure through national compute clusters. Deputy Minister Nezar Patria said stronger domestic AI infrastructure and compute capacity are essential for national competitiveness. While concrete funding and procurement details remain to be announced, the initiative highlights increasing global interest in local GPU infrastructure, data residency, and domestic AI ecosystems. Finally, Anthropic highlighted a public sector cybersecurity deployment in Alberta. According to the company, Alberta's Ministry of Technology and Innovation used Claude Code with Opus and Sonnet models to scan approximately 466 million lines of government code in about 20 hours before human engineers reviewed the proposed fixes. Alberta's published governance approach includes provider abstraction, privacy controls, workload classification, and human verification, illustrating how regulated organizations can combine agentic automation with strong operational oversight. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.